Professor of Environmental Science in the Department of Chemistry and Environmental Sciences at UT Brownsville. Dr. Wilson is a sixth-generation Texan from the hill country town of Vernon. He joined the faculty of UT Brownsville in 2008, subsequent to his postdoctoral work at Harvard. Welcome, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you so much. So I just want to start by thanking everyone and thanking the Regents for creating this award. And as I reflected back upon teaching in my experience, my short few years of experience in teaching, a particular question kept coming back to me. And that question was, who can we be? Who can we be as professors to our students, and not only to our students, but to our universities and our communities? And so I want to discuss this a bit. First of all, with our students, I'd like to introduce you to a few of our students. And one of our students is Danny Torres. Danny is very typical of our students in that he's 20 years old. He lives fairly close to the university. He's not the first one in his entire family to go to college, but actually the second. He has a sister at UTB about a year ahead. Now, he lives less than a mile from campus, and he actually lives in a census tract where the average annual income is about $5,800 per year. Now, Danny, when I asked him, as I do all my students, to write down why you came to UTB, the very first day of class, he wrote, "It's close to home." And this is fairly typical for many of our students. So now I want to introduce you to Mr. Edmundo Arizpe. And Edmundo is actually not 20. He actually just celebrated his 84th birthday. He grew up in Monterrey, Mexico, and he worked up until the 6th grade, or he went to school up until the 6th grade when he started working. He came back recently, got his GED, and enrolled at UTB. He's also not the first person in his family to go to UTB and go to college. He has one of his 5 grandkids actually is enrolled about a year ahead of him, and he's hoping one of his 5 great-grandkids will one day end up at UTB. When I asked Edmundo why he actually came to UTB the first day, he said, "It is the best." So, who can we be? Well, as professors, one of the things that we do is try to connect to our students in new ways. And one of the ways that we're connecting to them down at UT Brownsville is by using a hybrid model of not only being in the classroom, but being inside something called Second Life. Now, Second Life was actually launched here in the system in 2009 under the Transformations in Education program that this Board of Regents actually launched. The seed money came from this board. So why don't I take you into Second Life for just a moment. This is Second Life. It is a virtual computer program. That is me. That's my virtual representation of myself. As you can see, the same shoes and much sexier hair in this case. So, this is a 3D representation of me. I am inside this computer program, and we can do all sorts of interesting things. I can give a lecture in my lecture hall, which is located back to the left. I can have office hours while I'm sitting in my real office virtually, but I can also do stuff like take my geology course inside a volcano, or have them sit on the edge of a beach as a tsunami comes in and demonstrate various things. So what I'm going to do now is turn, we're on the UTB island at this point, and have a look over here. And you'll actually see we have a few students here, and actually we have Edmundo, Mr. Arizpe here, and we also have Danny. They are on computers right now down in Brownsville, virtually inside this world. And you'll also see we have a third individual there in the orange shirt. If you will look towards the back of the room, that is actually Dr. Garcia's avatar. So she is not only here with us in person, but her avatar is here as well. And there she goes. So, this poster behind them is a research poster that I have my students do at the end of every semester. And this is really cool, because not only are my students standing in front of this poster, which is on wind farms in West Texas, where they went through the peer-reviewed publications and actually did some base-level research to look at this, but I've invited people from Brazil, students from Brazil, professors from Chicago, professors from the UK, and they come and ask our students questions. So the point was made earlier that most of our students come from the Valley and come from Brownsville. Well, we can not only take them to places that they'll never go, but that we'll never go. We can take them inside a volcano. But we can also bring people from around the world in to meet our students and ask them questions and give them feedback that they would never meet and that I would never meet. So, Dr. Garcia, we'll see you back in real life, and I am going to come back to real life myself. Last semester, actually just last week, when I handed out an evaluation, one of my students said, "This is a bit like Halloween." And it's a great description, right? Because what are we asking our students to do, not only in the regular classroom, the bricks and mortar, where this class is half taught there, but in this world, we're asking them to assume a little bit of our identity. So we're asking them to try on a Jeff Wilson, try on an environmental scientist just for a bit. Go through those thought processes and try it sort of like a Halloween costume. So, what does this mean in the bigger picture to our students and who we can be? I want to talk just briefly about the impact of this. So I talked a little bit about it. They're getting feedback from around the world. They're actually interacting with themselves. But I can tell you there are students that never raised their hand all semester, that never came by my office, and I could not get rid of their avatars in Second Life. I tried to kick them out of my office. The unfortunate thing is they can teleport and find me anywhere in Second Life and find me again and then take me to see a new volcano or a new climate change island, etc. So, I want to talk just briefly as teachers. I want to say who we can be as professors and relative to our universities is I am and can be a professor at a Tier 1 university. And what do I mean by this? I don't mean UTB is a Tier 1 because of all our Nobel laureates, and I don't mean UTB is a Tier 1 because we have a huge Harvard-style research endowment, but I want to use Dr. David Pryor, our Executive Vice Chancellor's definition that he shared with me not too long ago. And that definition was, it was a place where exciting discovery was taking place. A Tier 1 is a place where our students' lives are being influenced. And I thought this was appropriate. It's not only that discovery that's taking place in the classroom, but it's that discovery that's taking place in places like Second Life, and it's the discovery of self as well. So, who can we be? I want to take this back to our students, and I want to pose, I guess, a different question. So it's not just who we can be and who our students can be, but ultimately, it's who I am. And who I am and who we are as professors is more than just who they are, but it's who they can be. Thank you very much.